Start. Okay. Good morning, all, and welcome to the fourth bootcamp of CSIR JIGYASA Epic Hackathon. I welcomed all the esteemed panelists of the day and thank them for taking out time from their busy schedules to help out the students and give them the right direction. I also welcome all the school students, teachers, CSIR scientists, and others who have joined us online from different parts of the country. As you all might be aware, CSIR JIGYASA has launched EPIC program for school students on 5th January 2024, providing a platform for the budding student scientists to develop novel ideas. The recorded sessions of the previous 3 bootcamps are available on the JIGYASA virtual lab platform. Students can freely access them whenever they wish. Today is the 4th bootcamp. And to begin today's session, I would like to invite Dr. Nitin Labasetwar, Chief Scientist, CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, NEERI, Nagpur. Dr. Nitin has over 35 years of research experience in environmental and energy-related areas and is presently working as a Chief Scientist and Chair, Environmental Resource Planning and Management Vertical, and also leading the Energy Resource Group at CSIR NEERI. He has worked as STA JSPS Fellow and visiting overseas researcher at NIMS Tsukuba, Japan, and as a visiting professor at Kyushu University, Japan, under the Global COE program on Novel Carbon Resource Sciences. He has also worked at other national and international laboratories on development of materials and processes, including low-cost and nanomaterial catalysts for their various applications. He has over 215 research publications and 20 international patents to his name. He is an identified expert for Central Pollution Control Board of India in the area of air pollution control and also contribute as an expert to several other national and international agencies. His research and academic contributions are recognized through various awards, including Vasvik Award 2020. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Please confirm, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're perfectly audible.
Okay, I'll try to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Visible. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all the students. A very good morning and welcome on behalf of CSIR NEERI. Today, I would like to introduce you to what is about the clean energy, and more or less is the same thing. This is how we will move forward. I'll briefly introduce you what are the challenges. Energy is a basic need, but today when we see that there are challenges related to energy and environment, then we'll quickly go through what is clean energy and how best you can contribute, not only as an innovator, but also as a responsible citizen of this country. And then we'll briefly see what are the opportunities. In 25 minutes, I hope you understand what is the meaning of hackathon, what is the meaning of bootcamp. So we are going to go quite aggressively, and you need to pick up the things of your own interest, contact us, and then we will guide you if you are interested. And I would say you should be interested. So these are very small letters, but I will read out for you. First of all, we should understand that what are the top 10 risks for next 10 years or after 10 years. And you can see all the 6 green channels or green panels. They are dealing with environment, climate change, biodiversity. So out of 10, you can understand the top 4 are something which is related to environment ecology. So this area or this challenge is very important as never before. And that's why it's very, very important for all of us to contribute to this. Now, having said that, for any challenge, any scientific technological problem, the most important thing is to understand. Understand using your basic science, try to understand, consulting your teachers, go through the literature and try to find out. Without understanding the challenge, you cannot solve any problem, you cannot contribute to any science. The second most important thing after understanding how to prevent, because prevention is the best thing for any challenge or any problem. Then, if you are not able to completely prevent, we'll see how to cure it. And as we can go through, we'll see how to adopt to certain extent. Now, I'll quickly explain you certain terminology which today everybody must be aware of. These looks bit complex, but you can very easily understand. For example, sustainability or sustainable development. Okay, just read out with me. Meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Today we are talking too many things about global warming, climate change, greenhouse gas effect. I'll quote only one example. If you would have responsibly used the fossil fuel, okay, we could have probably used it for next 400 to 500 years. Not only that, this kind of a responsible fossil fuel use would not have, in fact, put us in such a serious problem of climate change or global warming. Okay, so this is what to understand that we need to judiciously use the resources we have and also in the clean possible way. Now, try to understand that it's not that easy that we burn a kg of coal or ton of coal to generate some electricity and we use it, and we know that coal is going to produce a lot of CO2, a lot of environmental products. There are two ways to find it out. One is a direct way. You can calculate 1 ton of coal will give you this much of CO2. But there's something called life cycle assessment. Means there are a lot of indirect environmental footprint, environmental pollution in whatever we do. Okay, we will see how we need to do that. For example, if your mother is using 1 cylinder of LPG, which is roughly 14 kg, so you can calculate how much of CO2 it will generate. But have you ever imagined how LPG is produced? Somebody is extracting crude oil somewhere in Saudi Arabia. It requires energy. Transportation of crude oil, it's refining, then transportation of LPG. Then again, it is refilling in the cylinder. Then the cylinder is coming in a truck. Every step you are using a lot of energy, you are using a lot of resources and the material. And after that, you have to also calculate if a ship is transporting your crude oil, what is the life of the ship? How did you build the ship? So this is known as a cradle to grave, or it will give you the entire footprint of lifetime. Now, quickly also try to understand what is global warming, what are greenhouse gases, what is climate change. So it's again easy to understand. There are gases. First of all, you should understand we get sufficient amount of energy from one source. What is that? The sun. It gives us so much of energy. If we retain the entire energy, the earth, the mother earth, will be too hot to live. So, an important fraction of the sun energy or the heat energy, it goes back. Okay. But if it goes back, that fraction is goes back to the atmosphere, again, we will not have enough energy. Okay. So, a part of this energy is trapped in a layer of gases, which is called greenhouse gases. And to tell you frankly, these greenhouse gases are also equally required or essential. But if you increase the concentration, there will be too much of warming, which is the present scenario. If you remove the greenhouse gases, your earth is going to be cold. This is very interesting slide wherein we need to understand that the earth or mother nature has got a huge capacity to sustain. It can take care of your pollution. It can take care of, like carbon dioxide or any pollution we do. But the problem is, as if we are competing with the biocapacity or ecological capacity of Mother Earth or nature. We have already crossed that biocapacity. There was a tipping point, which is some scientists says, yes, we already crossed. So you are trying to emit too much of greenhouse gases, which Mother Nature cannot handle. Okay. Now, what are the impacts of this? Okay, how it is coming? We'll see. But first, try to understand what is so serious about the greenhouse gases or the global warming or the climate change. all of you know, if the earth is warming, it will melt the snow at the ice caps. And that is such a huge amount of snow, it will increase your ocean level. So that is already happening. Okay, all of us know. It will reflect everything so prominently or so significantly. I'll give you one example. The Earth has already recorded the last maximum temperature of hottest year uh, since the data is recorded. Okay, so the global warming is already happening. This year, you have seen the kind of a monsoon rains we have. So probably we can say that total amount of precipitation or rain was okay. It was not so bad, but somewhere it was drought and somewhere it was so much of flooding. So this precipitation, change in the precipitation is very bad for agriculture, very bad for everything. Now you must be hearing about 1.5 degree or 2 degrees Celsius. What is so important about this? There will be so many things, so many natural phenomena which will not be reversible. Okay? Everybody is trying to contain this climate change or global warming. But if we exceed more than 2 degrees Celsius, even 1.5 degrees Celsius, there will be so many changes in the nature that will be irreversible. Well, by the way, what I'm showing is not these are the endangered species or we might lose them. We have already lost them. When I was of your age, we used to listen to this. But today, very unfortunately, we have already lost several tens of thousands of species. You must have heard about the biodiversity. You may question that somebody says that maybe the tiger will be extinct if we do not care. How does it matter? Why tiger is so important? I don't want tiger. Try to understand. There'll be so many microorganisms which will be dependent on, say, tiger skin, tiger gut flora. If you lose tiger, you will lose those microorganisms. So what? Try to understand. If you lose a couple of bacteria, there may be one bacteria which is controlling the growth of a virus. And if you do not control, you know what virus do. So this earth is evolved in billions of years. Nobody should try to disturb the equilibrium or balance of it. You cannot understand if you lose one species on this earth, what will be the repercussions. I like this thing that the planet is around 4.5 billion years old, and we have been there in just 0.0003% of the Earth existence, and we are still able to spoil it. So try to understand Earth has got a huge, huge capacity to deal with this, but as if we are trying to compete. So now what we have seen, there is a serious problem of climate change, there is a serious problem of global warming, and majority is blamed to the energy. Now, again, I would say try to understand where these emissions come from. Okay, yes, one of the major source or the major source is energy, and that's why today we are talking about the energy. So these are the contribution of different sectors which are using energy. Energy doesn't only mean since I'm producing using coal and I should blame the coal-based power plant. No. Why are you using so much of energy? If you reduce the amount of energy required, obviously nobody will produce. So this is the distribution. We'll start with something you can do it by yourself. I have explained you the life cycle analysis in which you can calculate direct and indirect footprint. Try to find out your direct and indirect footprint of your daily routine. For example, if you are using a cycle and you are running or you're using a cycle for a mile, you must be wondering there are no emissions. Well, it depends. If you are using bicycle to go to your school, you are doing a great job. But if you are eating too much and just to maintain your weight, you are using a bicycle, here are your CO2 emissions. If you eat banana, if you eat non-veg, it is more than a emission of a car for 1 mile. Try to understand. These are your indirect emissions which are coming from the food you are eating. There are certain estimates. Whatever you eat, it gives a lot of CO2 emissions, a lot of environmental footprint, a lot of water footprint. See, to make a pair of shoes, you need about 17,000 liter of water. To make a shirt, you need close to 3,000 liter of water. Now you must be wondering how a shirt requires 3,000 liter of water. Is it a washing of the shirt? No. You all are aware the shirt is made of cotton, and to grow cotton, we need water. Quite similarly, if you drink a cup of tea, you must be wondering it is 200 ml or coffee 200 ml. But water footprint of a cup of coffee is roughly 70 to 80 liter. What does it mean? You should not drink coffee? You should. But please, please never waste a cup of coffee, which is equivalent to about 80 liter of water. Okay. So these are your energy and CO2 and like environmental footprint or resource footprint. Now, what is energy? You do any work, you need energy. We cannot live without energy. On the contrary, we need to provide the energy to all those poor, deprived people who are mostly from the rural areas. So yes, we must generate energy for them. Now, how to reduce the overall environmental footprint of energy or greenhouse gas footprint of energy? That requires a lot of innovations, and you should challenge yourself. You should apply your bright mind to contribute to this. So there are different aspects. First is energy generation. You may be aware the government is doing so much of impressive work. Okay, we are probably champion in the world. So energy generation, we should look for the renewable energy, clean energy, cost effective, and sustainable. After 200 years, that source should be available. Second, you must have heard about say hydrogen energy. There are challenges to store the hydrogen energy. Okay, how do we do? How do you contribute? Third, for me, most important is the energy efficiency. Okay, if you can save energy, nothing like it. And there comes a few complex things wherein you can try to do that. First is efficiency. You want to understand how the energy is produced. You can have a power plant, okay, different category of power plant. Whatever theoretical energy available with the coal or with any fossil fuel like petrol or diesel, we can extract hardly 30% of the energy. There are some limitations. There are scientific challenges. There are technological challenges. So 70% is already gone during the process. Then this energy in the form of say electricity is produced, it is transported, okay, or transmitted to your house. 70% is already lost. Whatever comes to your place and you are using it, for example, for refrigerator, for furnaces, for air conditioning, again, you can utilize maximum 40% or 50%, except for the LED lights. So, like we have already lost 80% in this process. And whatever you are able to use it, 15 to 20%. So 1 unit of energy used is equivalent to 4 or 5 unit of energy, produced. So the first and the most important thing is to save the energy. And that's why is the cleanest form of energy generation. You can do wonder. You can see whatever I have written here is a very common thing which your teachers and many people, many scientists must have told you. Switch off the light. Don't use AC whenever not required. Don't waste water. Use five-star equipment, so on and so forth. You can keep on doing this, and at your school, at your home, you can promote these things and you can try to find out, okay, where else you can probably save the energy. For example, your adapter is continuously on for 24 hours, and you must be thinking, unless I plug in a mobile or something, it will not consume energy. No, that's wrong. So there are many, many possibilities of innovations. A little work we have done at NEERI to save energy, and we could save a huge amount of energy. We promoted the bicycle, we replaced the old fans with the five-star fans. We have three-step dimming tube lights in our campus so that wherever it is required, they provide enough illumination. We have gone for the solar power plant, okay? And you like how much we have saved in just 3 years? About 2 crore of rupees and more than 13,000 tons of CO2. And my young colleagues at NEERI, they're working on many, many other small devices wherein you can control the AC temperature, or it can give a buzzer if it is exceeding, say, or if it is reducing the temperature below 25 degrees Celsius. So many innovations are possible. You should apply your mind and try to contact the CSIR lab. Another quick thing we did, we prepared environmental saving toolkit by using a software. So we can calculate how much of emissions are saved beyond CO2, like the SOx, NOx, other emissions. Okay. What are cleaner energy? By definition, clean energy includes renewable energy, energy efficiency, what I told you. Okay. Everything possible is considered as a clean energy. It's not only the solar or only hydrogen. Even energy saving should be considered as a clean energy. Okay. So any form of energy produced with minimum environmental footprint or any form of energy saved is considered as the clean energy. These are different options: solar, hydro, wind, tidal, geothermal, biomass. You will find the details because today we do not have time, so I'm encouraging you to go through a reliable literature. You will find many, many websites of the Government of India, including CSIR website, where you will get all these details. Okay, this is how the renewables are much, much cleaner in the life cycle assessment point of view, what I mentioned to you. Okay, so you can see solar, wind, nuclear are fantastic, even the hydropower, even the biomass. So if you somebody wants to debate with you, your parents want to debate, you should explain them. This is our decarbonization blueprint, which is proposed by the Honorable Prime Minister, and we are doing a very ambitious, very credible and very much appreciated job in the world. So, what you need to do, you need to reduce fossil fuel, you need to achieve the energy efficiency, you need to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions, and finally, the government and the Honorable Prime Minister says we will achieve net zero, okay, by 2070. So, this is the solar map of India. So we are producing huge amount of solar power. We will further improve. The government is having a very, very ambitious program. Yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated a beautiful bridge. You know, like this bridge is going to generate a huge amount of solar power because it is very nicely, embedded with the solar panel. There are very, very nice innovations like floating solar panel, agro-photovoltaics, through which India is increasing its solar generation footprint. You can apply your brain and try to find out where else we can use the solar and generate it. These are certain calculations, again, due to short of time. You can find out from the reliable internet sites. Even a small solar panel saves so much of CO2. It is equivalent to planting so many trees. How do we achieve, like the net zero? We need to work on renewables. We need to try innovations to save the energy, and we need to work on almost all the form of energy to fulfill our need. One best form is a hydrogen. How to generate hydrogen is important. If you generate hydrogen using solar energy, it is considered as a green hydrogen. You should log into National Chemical Laboratories website or CSIR website to find out the hydrogen mission detail. And if you have some curiosity, please contact. This is net zero. I just want to remind you a sizable fraction of the CO2 you know, will be removed through your forest, through your plants. So plantation, saving plant or saving tree requires a lot of innovations. Okay. These are some of the very important initiatives of Government of India, like battery-powered vehicle. You can see today huge number of at least two-wheelers flying on this thing, now batteries. Then hydrogen vehicle has been demonstrated. Okay, there are many myths about the electric vehicle. You should see here, and you can go to the website and try to find out. Electric vehicle has got so many environmental benefits. So there's no doubt whatsoever about it. You can contact us. You can contact CSIR if you want to convince somebody about the electric vehicle. This is something interesting. You attend a lot of marriages, a lot of function. So we are working on what is known as a sustainable event because we waste a lot of food, we waste a lot of electricity, we waste a lot of water. Okay, we waste a lot of clothes, and you name the resource. There are systematic evaluation of what is your overall footprint of any event. Okay, and your generation and our generation put together, let's make some sustainable event or green event. Many people are already doing, many stars, many big people, famous people are doing sustainable events, sustainable marriages, or the green events. You should also try. We will tell you how to calculate it. you can contact us, okay? You can contact CSIR. If you are from rural India, you know they need so many processes, and the rural farmer are still deprived of many electrification. If they are having some electrified equipment, the consumption of electricity is very high. There are so many efforts are going on, including by some young innovators. I know a few. One of them worked with me, who is also targeting some agriculture based processes, agro processing or food processing, wherein a lot of energy can be saved. You can see these pictures. So there are small machines which are not at all energy efficient. So we are trying to work how to improve the energy efficiency. But yes, the cost of these intervention should be really affordable. Okay, that's what the real innovation is all about. The next thing is the government has done so much of impressive work in replacing the dirty solid fuel with LPG. But still, there are few people who are using the cook stove. Okay, so there are much of an innovation like the improved cook stove, the solar cook stove, okay, the chimney-based cook stove, wherein you can increase the efficiency, and also there are so many innovations required in ventilation so that your emissions are not inhaled by the mother, the ladies, and the children around. So, who all can contribute in the domain of clean energy or environment or climate change? Everyone. Because now you have seen how the energy is contributing not only to climate change but to so many environmental problems. First thing I told you to understand how it is happening. Second, you pick up where you want to contribute depending on your interest. Anything. If you want to contribute towards energy saving, electric energy saving, you can do great jobs. There are young innovators I found. Some of them work with me, school kids also. They have bright idea. The only thing is we need to put it in a scientific background or scientific grueling, and then we should work forward. Yes, it's very important. There are two things. One is the knowledge, and second is the hard work. You need to work dedicatedly towards that. So finally, in conclusion, I would like to encourage you. This is an era of challenges, but at the same time, this is a time of opportunity. You are a very talented and a bright generation, but you will have to face a lot of environmental and other challenges. You need to work on that. So pay attention to what teachers are explaining you, get your basics clear, refer to reliable literature. Okay, don't jump on the conclusion. Apply your mind, try for innovative thinking and ideas, try to differentiate between jugaad and innovation. If you want to apply science and technology or engineering, that is innovation. Okay, everything need not to be a big rocket science or something very attractive. There are millions of small innovations which are life saving and game changer. In terms of energy, think about prevention, think of ideas to reduce self footprint, importantly, from your family, from your friends, from your school, from your colleges. Try to have sustainable events, okay? Use scientific concepts. Get in touch with us and we will tell you. Also, try to remember the CSI is working in almost all the domain of clean energy. Identify the lab and contact us. It's always win-win, not necessary you should have a eureka. This is a process of learning and most rewarding for you at your age. Okay, so we'll try to transform your idea to something useful. Think big, aim big, be magnanimous to contribute to the Mother Earth. That is probably the biggest and best you can do. Thank you so much. And thanks to CSIR for giving this opportunity. And please do not hesitate to contact CSIR and us for anything you need or any guidance you need. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for introducing students to the basic sustainable terms like footprints, green audits, etc., and what steps can be taken at the individual level to attain a better, cleaner future. Thank you so much, sir, for these valuable insights. In case there are any queries from the students, so we'll get back in touch with you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Mugdha Lele, Head Social Innovations Entrepreneurship Development Center, Venture Center, Pune. She will be giving an overview on the S&T innovation and entrepreneurship. Ma'am is currently the head of social innovations at Venture Center, Pune. She has done her PhD from School of Health Sciences, University of Pune, and has teaching and research experience in a state government medical university. At Venture Center, she is responsible for driving the social innovations activities and providing technical mentoring for startups at Venture Center. She has been a fellow of the Chevron Rolls-Royce uh, University of Oxford, Rolls-Royce Science Innovation Policy Leadership Program at the said Business School, University of Oxford, UK. She has also been a part of the Aritra Accelerator Program for Leadership director on the boards of Centra Biomedical Private Limited, a dental biomaterial setup, Pragmatic Healthcare Solutions Private Limited, which is a medical diagnostic startup, and Spot Healthcare Solutions, which is a medtech startup. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, you are not audible. No, ma'am, you are still not audible.
Can you check once again?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible, ma'am.
And I'm visible also on my slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll begin then. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity on behalf of from Venture Center team. I thank your institute for giving this opportunity. So my talk will be focused on this particular topic, science tech entrepreneurship for deep tech products. So I believe this is the fourth boot camp that we are having, and we are also going to have sessions around. Already one session on energy is done, and another on healthcare will be done. This is what I want to cover in this entire session. What is science entrepreneurship? Because when you do innovations, you also have to think about the commercialization aspect. So that is where entrepreneurship comes up, and you need to understand what is the business creation process. We also want to understand what is technology innovations, what are science startups, what are a few essential points that you need to keep in mind. And then in all this journey, how can Venture Center help you through different funding options, through different mentoring that we offer? So let us first try to understand what is business. It has two parts. One is the idea part, which as a hackathon, probably you are into the ideation phase. You might start your ideation phase here. You will come up with very, very novel, fantastic ideas. But then there is other part of the picture, which is execution. So this is where the science part of things comes in your business idea, where you're trying to solve a problem, you're developing a solution. You probably also think about a product or a service and how to make money. That is the revenue model. But then when you go to execution part, there are a lot of things which you have to manage. One thing is managing the technology development. Another thing is building your team also, because you can't do anything alone. Doing business alone is very, very difficult. So that is important. You have to raise money for your startup. Also, you have to be very, very visible. You have to communicate very well. And the timing of all these items, action items, is very, very important. And when you start executing, you may have to go back and fine tune your business idea also and apply your science. So it's a very, very iterative process. You have to keep another important thing in mind, that you have to become cash positive as early as possible. Otherwise, your startup is not going to survive. So how do you become cash positive is something what we do in mentoring. But first, to start with, which kind of ideas you should pick up to be best best business ideas. Now I will distinguish the ideas that come up to you as in two categories. One is the painkillers kind of idea, and another is the vitamins kind of ideas. Now, what are painkiller ideas? Something which your customer is wanting to solve, a problem that needs to be solved. So it's a burning problem, like burning of waste. So there's so much of pollution, particularly in the northern parts of the country, particularly in this season. It's a painkiller idea. If you address that problem, the customer will be definitely wanting to buy. But something which is not so very important, that that falls the vitamins kind of idea. So vitamins are important in life, but they do not fall in the painkillers category. Also choose ideas where there is a lot of novelty in it. You can file intellectual property. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but that is important. Your customer is wanting to pay in advance. Just give me the solution, but build this, solve this problem, because cash is king. So Dr. Lakshitwar in this earlier session was talking about jugaad and innovation. Let us try to distinguish it with some visuals here. So this is a typical jugaad kind of idea, where there is a problem, there is a solution, and then this gives to a jugaad kind of technology idea. But what we want to focus is something where there is a lot of science involved. Even this does not fall in the typical scientific kind of invention, where there is a problem, there is a solution, and there is novelty in both the problem and the solution. And this that results in the invention. A zip is a typical example of a simple invention, not a very rocket science kind of invention. Now, what are scientific inventions? And that is what would be of interest to all of us, as probably someone who wants to go into science-based entrepreneurship. So then you identify a problem, you identify the solution. There is novelty in both the problem and the solution. But the important part here is there are insights from science in both the problem part as well as the solution part. And that is what results in a scientific invention. So do you know an example, which is penicillin, which is an invention, but lot of science, knowledge intensity is involved in that particular invention. So it is a scientific invention. But then what is innovation? Innovation is nothing equated to invention, where you do inventions in your academics, in your research part of things. But when you take this entire thing to the market, where your actual product is in use, so what all it will require? It will require a lot of experiments where you're proving that it is a doable concept. You're demonstrating it as a prototype. You take a lot of approvals, lot of flights and trials are conducted. Then you go into commercial production, and then finally your product is in use. So all this entire journey takes almost 80% of your time and work and investment. So making this jump from invention to innovation is very, very critical. Now, what all this needs? It looks like a very linear kind of journey. It is not so. It is a marathon. It is a very, very long marathon when there are a lot of scientific insights involved. So it needs a very complex ecosystem, and in all this ecosystem, there are a lot of scientific inputs. There are a lot of non-scientific inputs like CSIR, legal, professional services. You need quality control, quality assurance, and very, very importantly, you need incubation facilities. Now, when we have thought about the different business ideas, let us have some clarity on some essential starting points. First and foremost, have a clear view of what your business idea is. Now, when I say the business idea, do not think about the technology, the science behind your business idea, but think about what is the product or the service that you're going to offer to your customer. Why that is important? Because your customer is not interested in the science part of things. You will be interested probably that this is a wonderful science, this is a wonderful technology that I'm developing. But someone as a customer would ask you, so what is the product? What are you offering to me as part of this offering? So the product or the service is very important. Also decide how valuable it is. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to make the purchase decision? And also be aware about what are the different alternatives. What kind of similar products are already existing in the market, which are solving the same problem that your product, that your idea is going to solve. So think about that also. Second, and very, very importantly, I spoke about intellectual property. It is very important to have your own patent in your own name. Now, there could be several patents already registered before you file your own patent. There could also be published literature. So that is called as free prior art. You have your own innovation, and there are other patents which people have filed, which people have already filed. So you have to find out where is the novelty in your own innovation and file that patent and protect your knowledge. So that is very, very important. The third important point to keep in mind when you're going for a startup creation is identify all the resources that you will be required till your product is going to reach the market. Now, what kind of resources? Of course, money is very, very important, but money is not everything. Your team is also important. Which skills you will need to build that product is very, very important. Where all your product is likely to fail is again you have to identify well in advance so that you can take care of that risk also before you start moving into the startup journey. And the fourth important point is financials, money, right? So we did say that as a resource, money is important, but you should also understand the financials. You should understand what is income, what is expenditure, what is profit, what is investment, what is the rate of return on your investment. So all these terms may sound very, very complicated to start with, but make attempts to try and read all the financial aspects also. So you can start with simple things like reading Economic Times, right? So that's a newspaper which focuses on the economic aspects of any product or a service. So start reading that as school children, as college children, start moving into the economic aspects also by reading Economic Times kind of newspapers. Now, these are some basics which you need to keep in mind when you are moving into, when you want to have your own startup. As Venture Center, where do we come in the picture? As I said, incubator is very, very important in your journey. So this is how Venture Center looks, and I will show you some screenshots also of what we offer. So we are almost 17 years old now. As a CSIR laboratory, National Chemical Laboratory is our host institute. We have got several awards to our credit, where we have got the best award for intellectual property. We have the best award for bio incubation, that is supporting bio-related ideas. We have got the best award for national entrepreneurship. We have got the national award for technology business incubator, so on and so forth. So what is our mission? We want to support new technologies which are solving the globe's most pressing problems, the most important problems, and which kind of problems we want to support, where the solutions are coming from science and technology. So though we focus only on science and technology based solutions. That said, that opens up several domains, one of which is very, very important, which you just heard from Dr. Lakshitwar, that is energy, environment, sustainability. This sector we do support. There is another session which is coming on healthcare. So yes, healthcare, biotech, biomed, life sciences, these kind of innovations we support. We also support engineering, electronics. We also support agriculture, secondary agriculture, food, nutrition, these kind of innovations. These are some of our success stories, and I'm going to talk about just two examples. One is from the energy sector, so which is mainly focused from converting organic waste into energy. This is the example of Noble Exchange, one of our successful startups. So they have this big plant in the region where they are located, that is Pune, which is on the western parts of India. So Pune is around 200 kilometers from Mumbai. So this is where the plant is located, and it processes all the municipal corporation waste in our city, which is almost 350 tons per day. It's a huge, huge quantity which is processed every day in this plant. They convert it into bio-CNG, and which is pumped back into the city buses. So it's a very beautiful example of circular economy and a beautiful example of waste to value kind of generation. So this is one example from the energy sector, which is the focus of your hackathon. Another example is from the medical side, where all of you must have heard about MyLab. They became very, very famous during COVID times, particularly because they were one of the first startups to get approval at the national level for their diagnostic kit. So they were into the market with their kit in just 20 days after the lockdown. So they are a big success. Akshay Kumar, you can recognize his face there. He is their brand ambassador. They have several diagnostic kits for infectious diseases generally. And COVID is, of course, one of them. So they have now come up with a very, very peculiar innovation, a very beautiful innovation, where at airports you can get the test done for COVID itself in say around 15 to 20 minutes. So few fact files after this interesting examples. As I said, 17 years of experience. We have mentored almost 750 plus startup teams, of which 175 plus startups have been physically incubated with us. So we are mentoring several more pan India also. Almost in 22 states of India, we have mentoring programs. We are also specializing in R&D spin-offs, research and development institutes, and a spin-off company out of it. That's a very, very difficult thing to do, by the way. What we specialize is mentoring. We have several experts who can mentor you from your idea stage till all the way to the commercialization stage. We do several events also, in person, hybrid, online, those kind of events. It's a huge campus. So anytime you're coming to the western part of India, please do visit Venture Center and we can show you around what all facilities we have. Our special strengths are intellectual property, regulatory facilities, advanced prototyping facilities, analytical facilities. We are very, very inclusive in the way where we support particularly women-led startups also, women founders, women enterprises. Because we are in the science tech domain, a lot of our founders are highly qualified. So not only MScs and MTechs, but also PhDs, MBAs, those who have done business degrees, those who have done PhDs from India, from outside India, so on and so forth. A lot of revenue has been generated by our startups. So risk capital mobilized is 700 crores, 1700 plus crores of revenue has been generated. 85% of our startups are still active. Again, it's a good number for science and technology based startups. We specialize particularly in early stage. So we start at the concept, move to proof of concept and take you to prototype and all the way to the market. So overall, Venture Center can support you in a very, very comprehensive manner. This is all what Venture Center can offer. Infra facilities, funding is there very, very importantly, because without funding, nothing can be done. Mentoring is there. We have a very good funding database. We have plug and play labs. We have prototyping labs. We have testing labs. We have regulatory facilities. We have technology transfer and intellectual property facilities. So just taking one example of MedTech, we can take you all the way from proof of concept to prototyping to trial manufacturing, sterilization and packaging, testing and regulatory, till your product goes to the clinical trial stage. And we have different offerings in that way. So whatever stage you are, you may be at your preparation stage, you may be ready to launch your product, you may want to develop your product, validate your product, or do a protection of your product by filing IP, you want to enter the market, you want to scale up. There are different things that Venture Center offers throughout your startup journey. These are our incubators. This is just an incubator snapshot. You can see there's a lot of focus on health. There are almost 50 diagnostics, also bio-IT, industrial biotechnology, biopharma. There is also clustering in environment and sustainability, engineering, agriculture, so on and so forth. As I mentioned, we are almost in 22 states where several of our mentees, several of our events are happening in one of these 22 locations. Of course, in Jammu and Kashmir also we have had some city camps. These are some of our government partners. So they do a lot of funding. We have a lot of government funds which we mobilize and we pass on to our startups. These are some of our corporate partners. So you can see some big industry names here like Bajaj and Kirloskar and Sitla Foundation, Persistent, so on and so forth. Stanley Black and Decker. This is the facility. So you can see there are a lot of high-end facilities which are available to you as an innovator. Now, what are some of the funding possibilities? So you can come at any stage and we have a lot of funding which is available, and we particularly are specializing in this early stage. So the funds which are mentioned in red are the ones which we actively mentor. And as you can see, several of them are at idea stage, are at proof of concept stage, or are at prototype demonstration stage. And they can range from as less as 5 lakhs to 50 lakhs and even beyond that also. Now with all this background, you may be wondering, where do I start? As a student, Our ignition program is open for you. You can approach us and we can start talking to you about what kind of ideas you have. We can also help you to make them commercially attractive. So we do this ignition program, which is a 1 year long program, and it is open throughout the year. There we offer you mentoring. It is generally in the virtual format because several of you come from outside of Pune. So we do not insist on in-person meetings, but we do several online meetings to help start talking with you and discussing your ideas. We do something also very interesting as workshops, and which are workshops for students, which are workshops also for faculty. So if your faculty are interested, they can also attend these workshops. There are dedicated workshops for students. There are dedicated workshops for faculty. What do we do in student workshops? We start with a simple session on nuts and bolts of creating startups, where we start talking about some essentials of science and technology based entrepreneurship. How do you get started? How can Venture Center help you? We also introduce you to some of our interesting startup founders. So as you can understand, this is an in-person workshop. So we want you to come here to have an in-depth, deep dive into what is entrepreneurship. You can also get a demonstration of some of our high-end facilities that we have. So we have something which is called as gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, or we also have confocal microscopy. We also have tissue testing facilities, several high-end facilities, and of course the prototyping facilities. We give you a detailed tour of Venture Center, and then of course you will get a certificate at the end of your 1 day workshop. So this is just a 1 day workshop which you can. For faculty, we have 2 days workshops which you or your faculty can attend. These are some of our coordinates. So feel free to connect with us on social media. We are on Twitter, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, we are also on Facebook. And these are my coordinates. If you have questions, you can ask them right now if time permits, or you can ask me later on also by writing to me, or this is my WhatsApp number, you can write to me. So Dr. Asha, that was all from my end, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your encapsulating talk on innovation. So if there are any queries from the student side, we'll get back in touch with you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and efforts.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Moving further, I would like to invite Dr. Ananda Goswami, Senior Principal Scientist, Pharmacology Division, CSIR, Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, IIM, Jammu. He'll be speaking on the first theme of, on the second theme of Jigyasa Epic Hackathon, One Health. Dr. Ananda Goswami accomplished his PhD degree in biochemistry and molecular biology from Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, CSIR, Kolkata, and pursued postdoctoral work in Marquez Cancer Center, Lexington, US. Prior joining IIM, he was working in the division of new drug discovery research in Ranbaxy, Gurgaon. His current research interests includes target-based drug discovery, regulation of metastatic genes in breast and pancreatic cancers, and EMT signaling. Dr. Goswami has contributed to more than 80 peer-reviewed publications and 5 patents in the area of anti-cancer research, and delivered plentiful presentations in both national as well as international platforms. He is deeply involved in the reviewing procedure of diverse scientific journals, serving as editorial member. He is also a recipient of NASI membership in the year 2021. Over to you, sir.
और ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा. Yeah. Good afternoon, organizing committee. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
And my slides are visible also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I really appreciate and thanks to the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to present some of the important aspects of One Health, because in our country now it is a very important, crucial points where everyone is very conscious about the health from the natural products. So my vital area of my research work, what I have pursued from Triple IM Jammu, what I would like to showcase today is in the natural products, how they are beneficial for this in future generation, and especially for the students, they would like to have this kind of exposure and a journey, how will be for sustainable health issues, how you can venture into the natural product based drug discovery. So coming to the first slide, I'd like to see what are the natural products. So as you know that this vast nature around us having a lots of biodiversity, and they are producing so much of important molecules, whether either from terrestrial sources or from marine sources or everywhere in the nature. The products are, when we explore, we can see there is a unique structure and function of these molecules which are important for our health system. So these are the, so any biological molecule in a nature is a natural product. But apart from them, the different organisms, they also, from plants or fungus or any other marine organisms, they produce the secondary metabolites and small entities of the molecules that's also considered to be very much bioactive in terms of these medical purpose, or in terms of as a druggable candidates for the treatment of different disease and disorders. And secondary metabolites are a very broad group of metabolites with no distinct boundaries and having a unique to particular species and group of organisms. So you can see in my slide that there are some fern on the right side and some other type of species as a plural species. They can, from there we isolate. And in my talk, I will show you today how we are here at Triple M Jammu. What is actually our journey to produce more and more important bioactive molecules from different sources. So, in case of natural products, in this, what is the importance in society? So, natural products, if you everyday life, we take the foods and different types of foods, whether it is fruits or vegetables or any kinds of herbs, they all contain important natural products. I mean, important molecules or important chemical structures which are beneficial for our health. At the same time, the different classes of marine organisms, or mushrooms and lots of spices which we use for our daily life, they are all having ecological and health aspects. They are important for development of small molecules, and which are actually potential candidates for the treatment of different disorder and disease. According to WHO, 80% of the world population depends on traditional medicine due to its low cost, wide availability, and safety. So, for a few thousand years, in different parts of the world, people are using the traditional medicine, and potentially the source previously was the plants, and from the plants extracts, and mainly the different parts of the plants they used to consume for different of disease. And still today in the medical science, in different practices all over the world, we can still find that plant products are the best source and best efficacy can seen in these plant-based natural products for the curation of disease. So traditional medicine has a long history of contributing to the conventional medicine. and continues to hold promise. For centuries across the countries, people have turned to traditional healers, home remedies, and ancient medical knowledge to address their health and well-being needs. According to the WHO Global Report on Traditional and Complementary Medicine, various systems of traditional medicine being used around the world include acupuncture, herbal medicine, indigenous traditional medicine, homeopathy, traditional Chinese medicine, naturopathy, chiropractic, osteopathy, Ayurvedic, and Unani medicine. And 170 WHO member states have reported on the use of traditional medicine by their population. And around 40% of the pharmaceutical products today draw from the nature and traditional knowledge, including landmark drugs like aspirin, artemisinin, and childhood cancer treatments. A closer look at these drugs reveals that the scientists behind them built up traditional knowledge to achieve their breakthrough discoveries. So there is the importance of these traditional natural products, which has long been carried out for centuries, and still we are relying on these natural products for our drug discovery aspects. So you can see the different classes of natural products coming through the different, I can show you in this graph that how these are the natural products are classified into different categories. Like here, the natural products and natural products botanical, they come under the category from where these plants we can explore those. Similarly, the natural product, from the natural product, we also derive some of these important entities by different chemical process, and they are also regarded as natural product derived molecules. Similarly, looking at some of these pattern of these molecular structures or molecular signatures, there are synthetically we can produce some molecules mimicking to the natural products. So those are named as you can see, the red band on S. And similarly, there we can also make the synthetic natural product mimic and some directly synthetic molecules and biological molecules and vaccines, which are completely owing to the structures we can get into the nature. So then thus natural products have a special kind of architecture which can give us a important and which is for our health procedure, health system, and to maintain our social healing procedure. So the strategy, how we can, what is our current strategy from these our natural product labs, how we try to get from the natural products, the pure molecules. We actually are also relying on the extracts. So there are two particular domains which I will talk today. Is first of the isolation of the pure molecules. And the pure molecules, they are important for, they are what we are always trying to prefer, that there should be the purity of this molecule, and that will be efficient, or that will be having a role in particular disease and for target validation. And then we can take this molecule to further developmental stage, passing on a couple of stages, like its pharmacokinetic activities, its pharmacodynamic activities, animal model, we test those pure molecules, whether they are, how efficient they are in animal models, and then further more characterization before taking it to the commercially viable stage. So first of all, from the fresh collection of the dried material, plant products, whether it is roots or fruits or leaves, we make an extract with the different solvents, starting from water to methanol. There are some, and say chloroform, N-butanol, aqueous. And after these extracts are made, there are two types of isolation procedure is commonly we follow. One is the bioassay guided fractionation, and another is directly biological evaluation according to the procedure. So one is this, when this bioassay guided fractionation, we perform particular assay systems, which is in our laboratory. We these assay systems are standardized, and for every disease area, whether it is inflammation or it is diabetic or it is cancer or any neurodegeneration, we particularly as a system, we actually put these extracts and find any particular activity of the extracts. Then we try to isolate that particular extracts with our, whether that extracts have important molecules and pure molecules, and depending on the separation and characterization with different procedures like NMR, mass spectra, then we can be able to try to get the lead generation, and that is actually the how we perform this procedure. So if we start from this, for the students, I think this would be very exciting area where that how from the natural products we would ultimately land to the drugs, how the commercially viable procedure can be performed in a nutshell. I'd just like to give some brief example of that. Say on the plant material, if we extract with the methanol and then passing on to the this is a preparatory chromatography, because crude material cannot be directly put into the more superficial columns like HPLC or FPLC. What we have to do, we have to first go through this plant extract from the preparatory liquid chromatography, from where we can take separate the three different parts. One is the polar part, one is the non-polar part, and another is the intermediate polarity. Once we separate them into these three categories, then what we do in these three parts, we try to do much more efficient process, the HPLC separation of these individual parts. And from the HPLC, when we get some kind of separation of that particular desirable portion, to see what is the how much is the quantity of that particular portion, then we find its NMR, and then we characterize the pure molecule, and depending on that we scale up this isolation procedure and also the structural elucidation. So usually there are couple of types of separation procedure. So one is this, on the left side you can see this is a column chromatography procedure, where particularly at the beginning we start this separation, and you can see on the conical flask where we have collected the different fractions depending on the color, and depending on these fractions we then go for this thin layer chromatography. This is also another separation procedure, and from there if we get some important single spot, that means that is a pure or semi-pure molecule, then we go to HPLC of that particular fraction. And some cases there are some mixtures of proteins or lipids which cannot be separated by these columns. We can separate it by either affinity chromatography or size exclusion chromatography. So this is a very tedious step, but it's in a lab systems we are regular do these things in our routine procedure, and from there we just only require a important flow chart to get our pure molecules. So this pre-fractionation method, as I said earlier, that we have three different important fractions, like one is a polar fraction, non-polar fraction, and intermediate fraction. So when we extracted this plant material, we loaded into this HP column, which is a liquid preparatory column. And after these plant extracts, which is either in the aqueous extracts or methanol extract, when we get the plant materials absorbed on taking it for a couple of days, we try to concentrate that extract, because we cannot directly put that extract into the column. We have to concentrate, and then after this concentrated portion is loaded into the column. And after loading into the column, we just try to elute the important fractions, which is further tested for it is bioactive properties. So first portions is 40% acetone and 60% water to elute the polar fractions, and then 75% acetone and 25% water to elute the intermediate fractions. And lastly, we use 100% acetone to elute the non-polar fractions. All these fractions are then loaded into this high-power liquid chromatography columns, and there we try to isolate the pure molecules. So now we are landing into the pure molecules, and these pure molecules are then there are, as I have told earlier, there are two types of procedure, either bioassay guided fractionation, from where we can take that particular fractions and see in the biological systems whether they are active or not. If we see there is some kind of activity, we then try to isolate the molecules from that active fractions. And you can see on the left side, there is some bioassay guided fractionation from pistachio varva hulls. And this is a methanolic extract from where we have got this bio fraction is whether helpful for the migration of the cells and proliferation. And what if it is done, then we can see there are some markers, as we have seen the TNF alpha and NF kappa B, and those whether particular markers which is upregulated or downregulated, whether there are kind of these particular markers are controlled or not. We can see with that particular procedure, bioassay guided fractionation, that this particular fraction is effective. Then we try to put that fraction into HPLC column, and in the HPLC systems, we can able to separate the pure molecules. Next, in our current drug discovery approach, you can see there are two simultaneous approach we can be able to take. One is the system biology approach, from where particular disease area, say for diabetes, so we have particular target. There is target gene which is getting activated during this diabetes or inflammation. There are certain genes are activated, and for that we have a particular assay system in the laboratory. And when we isolate the products from the natural products, particular the extracts, when we get that extracts are we test for this particular target. If we see our target or particular target gene or proteins is getting downregulated, I mean reduced, then we can make that particular extract as a bioactive extracts, and then those are known as hits. And there may be n number of hits we can get, but from there we have to more picky about that which have the potential property to from those hit to lead generation. We have another couple of validation of the assays, and those actually is a more elaborative assays we do, and from there that we optimize the lead, and further, after the lead is optimized, we take it for the developmental phase. So IIIM is as a center of excellence in natural product-based drug discovery. So last almost say 70 years, more than 70 years, we are actually doing a lot of natural product-based drug discovery program. And many of these molecules we have given to the companies, industries. Many of the molecules have people explored for their academic purpose, and many of the molecules we have our own repository. So, like Boswellia serrata and Cannabis sativa, we have a special research group here, and Buddleia ciliata, Withania somanifera. If you look at the publication came from IIIM, you'll be happy to see that there are very important molecules we have separated, we have isolated from this, and which has now, if you look at this PubMed, you can see their activity profile, and many of these molecules have been characterized by our group at CSIR JIGYASA, and there are almost 300 research scholars all over from different parts of the country. They're doing their research at IIIM, and especially is this natural product-based drug discovery program, and also they are working on the synthetic natural product laboratory. So one of our important plant product which we have worked here for is a Tulsi. Tulsi, this is a very, very important plant, and this is in every Indian house we can see Tulsi. And so in all kinds of natural ailments like, cough, cold, and fever, and diabetes, people used to, take these Tulsi leaves. So what we have done we have tried to separate out the compounds, which are the chemical constituents like eugenol and volatile oil. And we have, just as I mentioned before, the steps of separation of the extracts as well as the pure molecule. We have got these, and the properties of this Tulsi is huge. They have antiseptic, anesthetic, antimicrobial, anti-diabetic properties. We have checked, we have done this assay in our laboratory, and there are a lot of other properties like, the medicinal use. We have seen how these leaf extracts is effective for treating skin disorders, and these are very good anti-diarrheal properties. We have also tested and medicinal use of osmium roots in malarial fever, relief from insect pain and sting bites. So if you have some Tulsi plants in your house, if you have some kind of this type of symptoms, you can easily treat them with this extract. So another important plant is Curcuma longa. And this is also in every Indian household, you will get this haldi in your house. And this is, we have also explored these Curcumina longa in our lab, and where we have isolated air termaron for last couple of years, we have explored the different bioactive and properties of this particular plant for anti-inflammation and anti-diabetic, antifungal, antioxidant properties. We have checked with this, and we have different important viable animal models where we have checked these properties, and we so mainly curcumins, which we have found in a laboratory, it has really have an essential role to reduce the burden in the body when there is some important activation of the pro-inflammatory cytokines, and also very good for the control of arthritis disease and lot of joint pains and that we have tested in our lab, and they have given excellent results. Another plant is the aloe vera. That's also we have tried to establish in our lab. So this is a plant family of Asphodel, and this aloe vera is a succulent plant that also is, you can see in every household in India. They do have this plantation in their home. Is widely distributed and considered as an invasive species in many world regions. It is not only concentrated in India, but in the other parts of the world, you can see. So important compound like barbaloin is a major constituent from this plant. So we have separated out this barbaloin, and we have seen how it is effective for healing different, disease. Like it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. It has a very good hydrating agents for the skin. It has the properties for wound healing and antioxidant, antifungal, antibacterial activities. And its medicinal use is also, is a wide use in different disorders like pain relieving, and when there is a burning of the skin, it can be used. And there's also for minor cuts, insect bites, these extracts or plant extracts or raw plant material is very effective for the treatment of this type of disorders. Next, we have another is the mentha, peppermint. Mentha, that is also very important and it is widely available. And every Indian household have these, mentha. So this is a very important species, and it is a cross between water mint and spearmint, and it is occasionally found in the wild with its parent species. They are herbaceous and perennial plants. In mostly it is for the genus mentha. So mentha actually comes from this word menthol, which is isolated from this particular plant, and this is mostly used in the cosmetic industries for the making flavored tea. And this has a huge properties as antioxidant properties, especially for relieving from the stress and headaches, muscle pain, bloating. So this type of lot of medicinal properties we can found from this tree, and there are a lot of important chemical constituents we have separated out from this plant, like methylophuran, 1,8-cinerol, and linonen and cavon. Those are the important properties. And another plant, actually, this is also is a especially very much restricted and very much at this part of the Indian peninsula, especially in the Jammu and Kashmir region. I'll say mostly in the Kashmir region is the lavandula. This is lavandula angustifolia, from where the lavender oil we are producing, and it's important from the government of India under the leadership of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have initiated this program a couple of years back to make more lavender oil, which will be beneficial for our economy, especially producing from the particular districts of Kashmir, where the production has been increased tremendously, and there are all the farmers they are interested and to have the cultivation. And you can see that these also have a lot of importance in our economy, mainly for this perfumes industry. There are candle industry and all these, and it has this particular lavender oil from the lavender plants. We have isolated many important compounds, constituents like linalool, Then we have linolyl acetate and camphor. So those have been, we have done a active research on this plant in at Triple M Jammu, and which are very important for the industrial purpose. So let's have come to the main concern of why are you doing this plant research, plainly on the plant product-based research, because plants are always considered at the major hallmarks of different kinds, as I mentioned, in all over the world. So the natural procedure for healing the disease. So from for couple of thousand years back from Sushruta, we can see that these are the extracts which is having a tremendous potential to heal any particular symptoms. Like say Ashtavarga is a different types of plants which we have studied. The extracts of these plants, if you take in a particular Ayurvedic formula, they have a huge type of potential to cure many disorders. So, like, as we found the Chavanprash or tonic, you can see these are the Krishna Kakali, Jivak, Rishivak, Meda, Mahameda, Riddhi, Vriddhi. These are the important 8 plants which you have to, if you make a proper Rashayana, and make a important extracts of these, and these extracts are important for healing many disorders in your body. So that's why pharmaceutical industries are also tying up with us. There are many for the next generation students, which we are really looking forward to. They should go and explore more of this natural products chemistry, and in that way, India can in the future will be as it was more specific for exploring these natural products, and will in that way our chemistry and biology and other pharmacological parameters can be more explored. And if you have any questions regarding any queries, you can write it to us, and we can be able to happy to answer those questions. And I really appreciate for your attention to this lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I believe your talk on One Health, particularly in the area of using natural products for the drug discovery or drug development, basically, it was very insightful and helpful to the school children's. Again, sir, in case of any queries, we will get back in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To conclude today's session, I would like to invite Dr. Asha Chaubey, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR, Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, IIM Jammu, to brief our audience about ma'am. She is the Principal Scientist and Head, Fermentation and Microbial Technology, Biotechnology Division. She is working in the area of fermentation technology for exploration and exploitation of microorganisms for production of bioactives and novel enzymes for more than 20 years. The significant contributions include biotransformation of industrially important molecules, immobilization of enzymes for selectivity improvement, production of industrially important biopharmaceuticals. During the doctoral research, she has significantly contributed toward development of biosensors for healthcare and generated more than 100 good quality publications and 10 patents from her work. Presently, she has been actively involved in developing fermentation process for production of biopharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, therapeutic enzymes, and enzymes for agricultural applications. Also, she's a nodal scientist of Jigyasa program in Jammu and Kashmir. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, you are not audible.
Thank you, Rana, for giving the opportunity to talk about the Jigyasa Epic Hackathon 2024. So this is the program which is being launched by CSIR. And for this year, we have launched this program on 5th of January. And we want the program is known as Empowering Pupil Innovation and Creativity. So that is EPIC. And we invite the school students here to submit their ideas in the hackathon. And we will be considering some of the selected ideas for mentorship in different CSR labs. So the program that invites the students to submit the ideas in two major themes. So that will include the novel ideas for the themes are One Health and Clean and Green Energy. So we have two categories for submissions, which include the junior category, which is from class 7 to 9, and then senior category, which includes students from class 10 to 12. And supposedly students have any idea and they want to do some research on their ideas, they can go to their school or they can come to any CSR lab, they contact any CSR lab, or they can contact CSR HRDG directly to get the support from us. And all the CSR labs are committed to help these students who want to uh, convert their ideas into reality. So all the three lectures or presentations that were covered today or in different boot camps, they are based on the themes as well as entrepreneurship and innovation. So once you have the idea, if you know the subject and you know how you can convert your idea to the reality, or you can have your own company or something, and you can go and incubate your ideas in different CSR labs and do your research. So uh, So, as I said earlier, we launched this program on 5th of January, and since then, we have conducted several boot camps. So, this is how we have chosen the two themes this year, with the junior category as well as the senior category. So, any student who is studying in class 7th to 12th, they can submit their ideas into the this program. So we have the registrations open, and possibly the last date for submission of ideas is 28th of February, and this would be the last boot camp for the season. So I request all the students at Jigyasa portal. You will be able to learn about the program and you will be able to submit your ideas, or you can contact CSR labs. So we'll be helping you out in registering. So this is how you can register. So if you want to register, if you Google CSR virtual lab, this portal will be open and you can go to explore now and you can participate. So if you click on participation, you will have to register, and once you register and create your account, you can start logging. You log in, and then when you log in, you can submit your ideas in this portal. So you will have to go to submission form and then you can submit the your idea here. So this is how you can submit your idea. You will you can read the guidelines to submit your idea. and you can submit. So this year we will be considering the ideas. You can submit the ideas in the two broad themes, which include One Health and Clean and Green Energy. So we already had 3 boot camps before, and this is the 4th and last boot camp having today. So this link is given. You can watch the videos and you can listen to the lectures given by eminent scientists of the field. You will be able to understand both the themes, and you can learn about something which you may or may not are known to. And please, I have a request to all the students to do visit the portal and submit their ideas. So what we will be doing is we will be selecting 100 submissions which we found the best, and they will get the chance to innovate their ideas in CSIR labs in the mentorship of CSIR scientists in different labs. So whichever lab which suits you will be able to help you out, and we are committed to help the students during their vacations, and as and when they require our support, we'll be there to help you out. So you can also scan the QR code and or visit our CSIR Jigyasa portal. Our website link is given here. You can go through and submit your ideas. Most of these students are having exams right now, but it is a matter of few minutes when you can submit your ideas. So thank you for watching this boot camp, and I know you guys are very, very busy right now, and you will be like busy with your studies and all, but still I hope you will find some time and get registered. You submit your ideas and we'll be here to help you out. So thank you for joining and watching this boot camp. Thank you so much. And here I would like to thank our CSIR HRDG as well as our DG also to support us in this program. So over to you, Rana.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for setting the context of the Epic Jigyasa. Jigyasa Epic for 2024. Thank you so much, ma'am. So with this, I thank all the participants that have attended the session, all the eminent scientists, all the panelists for taking out time from their busy schedules and mentoring the children. Thank you so much, everyone. So with this, we conclude today's session. So
thank you.
Tarun, let us know. Thank you so much, ma'am.